How's it going, everyone? This is Kevin. Today I want to bring along with me to talk about why I personally wouldn't get the Mavic 3 drone. So let's jump right into it. If you currently own a drone or want to own a drone, you probably saw the recent campaign of the Mavic 3 that every YouTuber out there released at the same time, alongside with the actual marketing campaign from DJI regarding the Mavic 3 line with the Mavic 3 and the Mavic 3 cine. They had some awesome footage and some great photography, which just honestly were just phenomenal, and it really hyped it up in my honest opinion, and it turned out to be very cool. And that honestly had a question arise for me. Do I really need this drone, or is it just more the marketing hype? As you saw in the marketing campaign, it has all these better settings, these better basically specs compared to their other drone. It's the best of the best that they've come up with, and everything that they always want to bring out to the table when they're marketing a new product for a consumer, which at the end of the day, that's just what it is, marketing. When it comes down to a lot of these new kind of gear projects that they're coming out with, let's say the A7 IV, the new Tamron lenses, DJI new drones, everything like that, they always have to have some sort of marketing campaign to make you realize that you need this product, not that you actually do. While I do believe that the technology does improve with every gear that comes out there, it always kind of depends on what you're going to be using it for, how much of the upgrade it really is, and how much are you going to be paying for that upgrade to justify the meaning if it's something that's right for you. And that's what I usually do for myself. Now, I personally own the Mavic Air 2. I've had it for over a year now, probably used it for everything that I've had on this YouTube channel ever since putting any drone footage. I've used it for video, photo, time lapses, you name it. I've used this drone itself when it comes down to my content creation. And that brings me to the next thing. Does the Mavic 3 price really justify me upgrading from my Mavic Air 2 when it comes down to the specs, the battery, and everything that I could create with that drone versus this one? I know the Fly More combo, when it comes down to the Mavic 3, it's about $3,000, and if you get the cine version, it's $5,000 compared to just $980, give or take. So it's about $1,000, let's just say, when it comes down to the Mavic 2 compared to the Mavic 3 line. Which, to be fair, I know that the Mavic 3 line is more of a pro-based drone kind of type of gadget. This one's more consumer friendly. Obviously, they have the minis for the more consumer side, and even the 2S that came out is more of a pro, but not completely pro, because it has a little bit of the pro line stuff. So with that said, I understand the differences in prices, but does it justify for me to get it? The Mavic 3 has a bigger sensor overall compared to this one. This one's only like a 1/2 inch sensor. The other one's like 4/3 of an inch or of inches of sensor basically. So, I mean, that obviously is gonna justify having better quality because the smaller sensor, think of it with a camera versus a phone. A lot of technology goes into the phone cameras, but you know, you can still know that it's a phone, I guess. The Mavic 3 shoots 10-bit video versus I believe just 8-bit video on this one. This one has a fixed aperture of 2.8. Basically, you can't focus or defocus anything. I know the Mavic 3 has an aperture of 2.8 to 11, and you can do, I think, the focusing from like 1 meter to like infinity. Now this shoots 4K up to 60 frames per second. The other one has 5.1K, and I know it can do, I think, like 2.1K when it comes down to the slow motion and all that stuff. I can't remember at the top of my head, but obviously it has bigger, better specs compared to this one when it comes down to the spec sheet itself. Battery life is longer, so on and so on and so on. With all the marketing and everything, just kind of makes me think, do I really need this drone? Is it gonna be a better upgrade? Is it gonna make me a better videographer? Or is it just really more, I can do what I can do the same way with this drone versus the Mavic 3 because of my skill set and me not being able to justify the 3K basically price. And I'm honestly not saying that I'm like a really great drone videographer or photographer or anything like that. I'm just kind of going off of my experiences with this drone when it comes down to creating content for these YouTube channels, client work, or anything that I need to make basically drone footage with. I mean, I have all my bases covered in all honesty, and for the price point itself, I've noticed that a lot of people, when it comes down to their drone that they have sometimes the Mini 2, sometimes they have this one or the 2S. They create great footage overall, and I personally wouldn't have known if it was the Mavic 3 or the 2S or the Air 2. It just really depends on the lighting and everything that they're taking their videos with. So that to me just kind of helps me justify to process this reasoning of, do I really need this drone, or should I just really not fall into the marketing hype? Because the hype and specs of the Mavic 3 on paper look phenomenal. Obviously the marketing campaign that they did with the video footage that they released was awesome. I think basically everything that they put out with was phenomenal when it comes down to the video examples and photos that they put out and all the other YouTubers getting to use it. But I feel like that happens every single time that they put out a new drone. The same thing that I can show you the commercial for this one, they'll be hyping it up, saying it's like the best thing that they've come up with at the time and everything. It doesn't really justify for me to go, yeah, that's definitely now the Mavic 3 is so much better than everything that they've come up with ever or something like that. So it is a phenomenal drone. And if you have the $3,000 or $5,000 to spend on each of those, by all means, you're probably not even watching this video. You probably already have ordered it because you are a very good drone pilot. You have the budget, you know you're gonna make the money back because you're using it for your work or everything like that. Or somehow you got it for free from DJI to review or something, I don't know. But you would already know that it'd be the drone for you. For me, knowing how much I use my drone and how much I know it's not worth to be upgrading, I think it's not worth the $3,000 with the upgrade charges that comes out from the 2S and for the Mavic 3 to this one. Obviously having the bigger sensor, the 10-bit and everything is phenomenal when it comes down to content creation. I just don't know how they came up with the price, especially from what they had from the 2S and even the Mavic 2 and the Pro lines and stuff like that. It just seems a little bit out of context for me. But I know some people are gonna be typing, oh, you just don't know marketing or this and that. And I mean, I guess so. I mean, I did study marketing in school. I mean, I just know with all the stuff that are going on with the shortages, yeah, prices can go up, but I don't think the price for the specs justify it for me personally. So I personally just couldn't buy it. But that brings me to the question. Would you buy that drone? Would you buy the Mavic 3, maybe the Cine, or would you go for something else when in the DJI line or completely new company? I don't really know. I'm not really that huge on drones to kind of go for something different. I know they have their FPV drones as well too. So which one would you go for and why would you go for it? Leave me a comment down below. I would love to know your thoughts on that end, just to kind of see your reasoning if you would be fine justifying spending $3,000 and more, or you don't believe that the hype of the drone itself is that real. But with all that said and done, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Share this video with a friend. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.